So I just wanted to have a chat about civil works. And for any of you thinking about doing subdivision, and I've done a couple of smaller ones before, 1 into 2 mostly, but this is bigger. I had to provide quite a bit of infrastructure here, and I just want to talk about a couple of things I learned. So I hired a pretty good local firm for the engineering. They didn't stick to budget, and I should have been watching them really closely. They blew our budget quite a bit on the engineering costs. Now, in the end, that's not the worst thing in the world, but I should have really known that was coming. And as much as I could blame them, it's my fault. I should have managed them harder. The workmanship of what they designed and what I got out of it, no complaints at all. What I did get out of it was a really good design and a lot of back and forth with Tasrail and council and all that sort of stuff. But the good thing that I really did learn was that, you know, the quoting spreadsheet that they supply, where they break the job down into its individual components, and they then gave me an estimate of what that should all cost, and then I sent it out to all the contractors. That was a really good situation. So the spreadsheet has a main page which has sections for each of the chunks of work. So for me, it was driveways, moving the stormwater pit up on the road. Then it was the stormwater system, and for our bit, then the stormwater system for the council bit, and then the shared part of the stormwater system. So I think, and then all the connections in different bits. What I didn't do was push hard enough on the details and the design for the stuff that didn't need approval. Now, that's the way the conduits run in for the services out to each of the separate titles. The size of those conduits, where they run to, how deep they run, what they're covered in, what that pit looks like. Now, that's basically one decent drawing page where you could have had an overview of each driveway with the runs for the conduits, and you could have had a cross section on the pits. That would have been a really good thing to have, and that would have been great to have in the quoting spreadsheet. Now, I just kind of went, conduit, how hard can it be? Well, it's not that hard, but it can be thousands and thousands of dollars of work. So that would have been really good to know firmly in the quoting spreadsheet and get a fixed price on that too instead of doing charge. That was my mistake. I'm not leaving anything unsaid or assumed or to be worked out later next time. It'll be really detailed up front. And I'll push harder on those drawings, and I'll keep a lot closer eye on how much money we've spent on the drawings and the engineering. Because if I'm given a price up front, if we go over it, I want to know about it before we go over it, not a long time after. But the spreadsheet is worth its weight in gold. And the quotes we got back were really interesting. We had one that was just huge. It was in the 400s. We had several in the 200s and right through that range from the bottom to the top. The guy who was the cheapest didn't use the spreadsheet, which was interesting. But he also never got back to me about how it broke up. So there's majority of the civil works on this site by maybe 70%, 60% is council's, and the rest is ours. So even though it's the cheapest, if it was heavily weighted to us, it wouldn't have been worth it. And if it was heavily weighted to council, it would have been really worth it. The guy who was next above that, so there were probably 2 or 3 in a really close group after that. One of them I had really good experience with through friends. They knew his work, and I'd seen how his crew worked. I'd seen the quality of the work they put out, and decided to go with them. So I've been really happy with the work they've done so far. What I have found that's been interesting is, and this was probably the next of my learnings, I need to be much harder on the timeline and get some commitments on what that was. It's a fixed price job. So basically they make the same amount of money no matter how long they take. So it makes sense for them to allocate their resources in the best way that suits them, not the fastest way to get my job done. It always reminds me of that old saying, you can have a job done fast, you can have it done cheap, or you can have it done well. You can have any 2 of those things, but you can't have all 3. And these guys have certainly got a good price. I'm really not complaining about the price. And the quality of the workmanship is stellar. Like, we have no issue from council. Every time they come up here and check on the work, we have no problems. But the speed it's slow. But this is also my first job, my first bigger job. I could see it being faster, but maybe you'd have to throw a lot more machinery at it, and there goes your cost. And you got to have a lot more guys tied up. And the speed that this job's turning around with is not impacting us because we're selling during this time. The one thing I would like is if the driveway was a bit more presentable up there, where it was done, and I'd probably spec that next time, where I'd say the driveway and the front facing chunk of the project needs to be finished first, then we move on to the other stuff. And that would allow sales to run smoothly while the other stuff takes as long as possible, or as long as it feels like, or whatever it takes, just whatever suits. So the timeline's dragged out a little, but it's not the end of the world. Excuse me. And some of it's due to rock and unforeseen circumstances. But yeah, we're probably a month off being completely finished here on site at this stage, and the way the work is being done is so good. Anyway, people, take it easy. If you've got any questions, hit me up. Hit the like button down the bottom. It'll help other people find us. And anyway, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Lots of content on Instagram. Anyway, take it easy.